Hi, I am Rajendra Bade. Today we are going to study axially loaded bars, but bars with uniformly varying cross sections. But before we start studying, I want you to do something for me. If you like this video, you please give me a thumbs up. Share this video. Subscribe my channel. It is going to encourage me to upload many more such videos on YouTube. It is really going to encourage me to upload videos on many other subjects on mechanical and civil engineering. Okay, let's start.
Read this problem. A bar of circular cross section, diameter varying uniformly from D1 at one end to D2 at the other end. Take length of the bar as L and Young's modulus of the material of the bar as E, and derive the expression for change in length of the bar under axial load P. Here is that bar. It has length L, diameter D1 at one end, diameter D2 at the other end, and it is carrying an axial load P. Now we'll draw two-dimensional diagram of this rod. So here it is rod. It is carrying an axial load P, has length L, diameter D1 at one end, diameter D2 at the other end, and load P. It is axial tensile load. Now consider a section at distance x from its narrow end. What is force on this cross section? You know how to find force on a cross section. Sum of forces on any one side. So if you consider on the right side, you will find there is a P, pull type of force. So this cross section is carrying pull. How much it is? P. If you consider left side, you will get the same answer. Cross section is carrying load P. Okay. So this cross section is at distance x. Now consider one more cross section which is very close to the earlier cross section. That is, it is at distance dx. Remember, dx is nearly equal to 0. So this is portion of the bar of length dx. Dx is infinitesimally small. Imagine this portion of the bar which is of length dx as a thin layer. As we say that a line is formed of infinite points, we may say that this rod is made of infinite layers. So this is one of the layers which is at distance x from right end. Now let's draw free body diagram of this layer. Watch here. This is how a portion at distance x we have removed. So we can consider this portion as a bar of uniform cross section that has length dx acted upon by axial force P. Watch here. This is bar of length dx and acted upon by axial force P. I am showing here in two-dimensional diagram also. Length is dx. Now here this D1 diameter I have projected here. Why? Try to understand. Diameter of the cross section is varying uniformly. At this end, at right end, it is D1. At left end, it is D2. So what is the diameter of this rod at distance x we want to know? And diameter at distance x, it depends. When x is 0, diameter is D1. When x is equal to L, diameter is D2. So diameter of cross section of this bar is changing with x. So we must express that diameter in terms of x. And that is why we are studying geometry of this diagram. Try to understand. So I have transferred this distance D1 at the larger end. So D2 minus D1. This middle portion is D1. D2 minus D1 is that remaining length, and by symmetry it is D2 minus D1 by 2 on this side, and here D2 minus D1 by 2. Okay. Now diameter at distance x, it is D1 plus small distance here and the same small distance on this side also. So we'll label that small distance here as C. So same distance on this side also, it is a C. So what is diameter at distance x? Now we may say that it is d1 plus 2c. At distance x, diameter is d1 plus 2c. So now try to understand. Here it is a bar which is actually loaded bar of uniform cross section. Its diameter is d1 plus 2c. This diameter here is d1 plus 2c. So we'll find change in length of this portion. But yet we have not expressed d in terms of x, because c is not a constant. C is varying. C is this distance, watch here, and this distance is increasing here. And finally at this end, at larger end, c is d2 minus d1 by 2. And at the smaller end, value of c is 0. So value of c is varying from 0 to d2 minus d1 by 2. So we'll have to express c in terms of x. Let's do that. It's simple geometry of similar triangle. Try to understand here. Consider this smaller triangle here. Height by base of smaller triangle, that is c by x. You need not write x plus dx, because these two layers are very close to each other and dx is nearly equal to 0. So it is as good as you are adding 0 in x. So you need not consider that length as x plus dx. Say c by x, that is height by base of smaller triangle, height by base of smaller triangle is equal to height of bigger triangle. How much it is? d2 minus d1 by 2. So height by base of bigger triangle. So d2 minus d1 by 2, it is height of bigger triangle, and L is base of bigger triangle. So this is how we have expressed c in terms of x. So c is d2 minus d1 bracket into x divided by 2L. So therefore diameter we have found out in terms of x. What is diameter of this small portion? d1 plus 2c. So we'll replace c by this expression and we'll simplify it. So c I have replaced by that expression d2 minus d1 into x by 2L. We'll remove this x from numerator and denominator. So we got d as d1L plus d2 minus d1 into x divided by L. Now try to understand. Area, circular area, is pi d squared by 4. Now we'll replace d by this expression. So we'll get cross-sectional area of this portion. That is cross-sectional area at distance x from right end. So we'll simply replace d by this expression and simplify it. So pi by 4, here it is pi by 4, and then d squared, that is this entire expression squared. This is that cross-sectional area just now we have found out. If a bar has uniform cross-section and carrying axial load P, then deformation of the bar is given by this expression PL by EE. D delta is deformation of this portion, which is of course very small. So that is why D delta. Okay. So we'll put the values. What is the load on this portion? P. Sum of forces on any one side. So it is P. What is the length of this small portion? Dx. So I have substituted length as a dx. Young's modulus E, and cross-sectional area. So this entire expression I have mentioned here. So this is cross-sectional area. Delta, that is overall change in length. As I told you, you imagine this rod made of such infinite layers from right end to left end. Each layer is of dimension or length dx. All these layers are in series. So we should add a deformation d delta of all these layers from right end to left end. What does that mean? Infinite time addition means nothing but integration. So we are going to integrate d delta over the limit of the rod. Length 0, value of x is 0 at one end to L at the other end. So this is how we are integrating it. So these are all constant outside the integration sign, and denominator is d1l plus d2 minus d1 into x the whole square. So we'll integrate it. Limits 0 to L. And this is how we are going to substitute the limits, and we got the answer. Just simplify it properly. Keep notebook and pen with you and check whether you have understood it. Simple substitution of limits and simplifying it, and we got the answers. So this is delta d2 minus d1 will get cancelled, and finally 4pl divided by pi e into d2 d1. This is the formula for change in length of circular bar whose cross section is varying from d1 diameter at one end to d2 diameter at the other end. Now I'll tell you how you can remember this formula. Check here. Here it is bar of uniform cross section under axial load P has this deformation. So deformation is PL by EE, and I have replaced A by pi d squared by 4. So in terms of diameter, this is the deformation. Delta is 4PL divided by pi E d squared. What we have done here? Simply we have replaced area by pi d squared by 4. Now the bar just now we studied, bar of uniformly varying diameter, varying cross section. Now here is that bar. Diameter here is d1, diameter at the larger end is d2. So formula just now we derived it, this formula. How to remember this formula I am telling you. Now compare these two formula, uniform cross section and uniformly varying cross section. Check all other terms are identical except here it is d squared and here d2 d1. So if you compare these two formula, easily you will be able to remember now this formula. So only thing is d squared is to be replaced by d2 d1. Okay. Now check this problem. A bar of rectangular cross section has a uniform thickness T along its length. Width of the bar changes uniformly from A at one end to B at the other end. Take length of the bar as L and Young's modulus of the material of the bar as E and derive the expression for change in length of the bar under axial load P. So we are going to find change in length of this bar under axial load P. What is that bar? Try to understand. It is bar of rectangular cross section. It has length L. Thickness T, uniform overall its length. Thickness is T from one end to the other end. So thickness is uniform. It has width A at one end and width B at the other end. So A is smaller width, B is the larger width at the other end. Okay. It is acted upon by axial load P. So line of load is passing through centroids of cross sections of all the areas. So it is axial load P. Let's draw two-dimensional diagram. Basic geometry is the same. So at distance x I have considered a section, then a portion at distance x of length dx, and we'll write elongation of this portion, which is very small, of course, d delta. At distance x, what is width of the cross section? So we'll have to find width of the cross section at distance x. That means width here in terms of x. And for that purpose, we'll use the same geometry which we studied in the last problem. We'll project this A at the other end. So this distance is A. So B minus A divided by 2. This small distance here is B minus A divided by 2. Same way here, it is symmetry. B minus A divided by 2. Let's assume this small distance above A and below A, that is C. So it means width of the cross section here is A plus 2C. let width here be d, and that d width is a plus 2c. So width of the cross section at distance x from right end is a d, and that is equal to a plus 2c. Using similar triangle geometry, height by base of smaller triangle c by x is equal to height by base of bigger triangle. So b minus a, this height is b minus a by 2 divided by l. So this is how we have mentioned c in terms of x. Now we got width in terms of x. What is width here? We have labeled it as d, and we know that d is a plus 2c. So d is equal to a plus 2 into b minus a into x by 2l. We have just replaced c by this expression. So we'll remove that 2 from numerator and denominator. So this is that diameter now, this is that width of the cross section at distance x. It is in terms of x. If you put x is equal to 0 here, then you will get width a, check here. And if you put x is equal to l, so at distance l, if you put x is equal to l, so a l and here minus a into l will get cancelled, and you will get width as b. So this is that width of the cross section at distance x. What is cross sectional area here? A into t. What is cross sectional area here? It is b into t. And what is cross sectional area here? D into t. So we'll now replace d by this expression here. So this is the cross sectional area of this small bar which has length dx. Now use that basic formula. Delta is PL by EA. So deformation of length dx is d delta. Load on this portion, sum of forces on any one side. So on this cross section it is P, on this cross section also it is P. So this small portion is experiencing tensile force P. So that is the force P. Length of this portion is dx. E is Young's modulus, and cross sectional area is this expression. And of course now we should integrate it. So delta, that is change in length of entire bar, it is integration d delta over this limit of x. What are the limits for x? From left end to right end, x0 here and xl here. So 0 to l, we are integrating it. Log to the base e, watch here. So this is how we have integrated it. Limits are 0 to l. Now we'll put these limits. And this is the expression we get. A homogeneous bar of uniform cross section A and length L is hanging vertically as shown in figure. Young's modulus of the material of the bar is E. Derive the expression for change in length of the bar under its own weight. Now, up till now we solved all problems. We didn't consider weight of the body. Here it is hanging bar. It is vertical in position. Upper end is supported here. And because of its own weight, how much is increase in length of the bar we want to find out. Okay. But it is bar of uniform cross section. So here I have considered that bar. Has length L. Consider a section at distance x. Can you tell me what is force on this cross section? So sum of forces on any one side of the cross section. So on lower side of this cross section there is only one force, that is weight of this portion of the bar. So weight of this portion of the bar is acting at its center of gravity. So this portion of the bar has center of gravity at distance x by 2 from base. And here is that weight. It is not weight of the entire bar. This is weight of this portion of the bar. The portion has length x. So W dash, it is weight of this portion of the bar. So FBD of portion of length dx. So at distance x, we'll consider portion of the bar of length dx. We are going to draw FBD of this small portion. So this small portion is experiencing load W dash, sum of forces on any one side. So you can consider lower side. So W dash. So this is bar of uniform cross section experiencing pull type of force W dash and has a length dx. So change in length of this bar, because it is infinitesimally small portion of this entire bar, its elongation we have mentioned as d delta. PL by EA, standard formula. What is force? P, it is W dash. What is length of this portion? dx, Young's modulus and cross sectional area, whatever it is. But it is constant, it is uniform throughout its length. So this is d delta. Now, W dash, that is weight of this small portion, we have written in this fashion. Try to understand all these terms. Rho here, it is density of material of the rod. Density of material of the rod. Density is mass per unit volume. Rho into G, it is weight per unit volume. Weight per unit volume into volume of this portion, that is weight of this portion. Weight per unit volume into the volume of that small portion, volume of this portion. And what is volume of this portion? Cross-sectional area into x. So cross-sectional area into x, that is a volume of this portion. This is that cross-sectional area into x, that is a volume of this portion. Volume into weight per unit volume, that is a weight. So this bracket is nothing but W dash, weight of this portion. Be sure you have understood this. Okay. Now area will get cancelled. So d delta is equal to rho G by E, x into dx. So we'll integrate d delta for overall change in length of the rod. So it's very simple integration. Rho G by E, that is constant, and integration of x squared by 2 over limit 0 to L. So this is that deformation. Deformation of entire rod under its own weight. Rho is mass density, rho G is weight density. So what is rho G? Weight per unit volume. Let's write in terms of weight of entire rod. Rho G is W, that is weight per unit volume. So this is in terms of mass density, it is in terms of weight density. Now watch here. Delta is equal to rho G into L squared. So L into L, this is how I mentioned here. So rho into G into A into L. How much? What is that A into L? Cross-sectional area into length of the rod, that is volume of the rod, into weight per unit volume. So this bracket is total weight of the rod. And this is how we have found out delta. W is weight of the rod. So in terms of weight of the rod, what is elongation of the rod? Delta is equal to WL divided by 2AE. Now read this problem. A bar of circular cross section, diameter varying uniformly from 15 mm at an end to 30 mm at the other end. Take length of the bar as 3 meters and Young's modulus of the material of the bar as E is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 5 megapascal. That is Newton per millimeter square. And find change in length of the bar under axial pull 40 kilonewton. It is bar of circular cross section and diameter varying uniformly from 15 mm at an end to 30 mm at the other end. So it's simply formula substitution. We have already derived the formula. So this is that formula. Delta is equal to 4PL divided by pi E T2 D1. Just substitute the values. P is 40 kilonewton. 40 kilonewton. So 40 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Length of the rod is 3 meters. So 3000 millimeter. Take care of unit. Then pi E Young's modulus is 2 into 10 raised to 5. D2 15 millimeters and D1 30 millimeters. So D2 D1. D2 is 30 and D1 is 15. So we just put the values and get the answer. So this is the elongation of the rod. Let's solve this problem. A steel plate has uniform thickness T along its length. Width of the bar changes uniformly from 6 cm at an end to 12 cm at the other end. Length of the bar is 50 cm and Young's modulus of the material of the bar is 200 GPa. 200 GPa, that is 200 into 10 raised to 3 MPa. 200 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per millimeter square. Find the minimum thickness of the plate so that its elongation does not exceed 0.05 millimeters under an axial pull of 15 kilonewton along its length. Okay, so there is axial pull 15 kilonewton on this bar, and we are asked to find thickness of the bar so that elongation does not exceed 0.05 millimeters. So in this problem, we want to find thickness. So again, it's formula substitution. This is the formula. Since delta is equal to PL divided by, so remember the formula properly. It is larger end minus smaller end. Larger end divided by smaller end. That is width of larger end divided by width of smaller end. So just put the values. So thickness, elongation delta is 0.05 millimeters. And we want to find thickness T. When you substitute the values, take care of units. And this is how you have found out the answer. This is thickness, required thickness, minimum thickness required. Elongation must not exceed 0.05 millimeters. And for that, minimum thickness required is T is equal to 8.665 millimeters. Now check this problem. A composite bar has 3 segments made of different materials and rigidly connected to each other as shown in the figure. So this portion is steel. Watch carefully. This portion is of uniform cross section. Middle portion, which is made of aluminium, it is uniformly varying cross section. And how that cross section is varying? Diameter 25 here to diameter 60 at the other end. And then again it is copper rod of uniform cross section. So this problem is bars in series problem. Delta 1, that is deformation of first part. Delta 2, deformation of aluminium portion. And delta 3. So total change in length is delta 1 plus delta 2 plus delta 3. Find change in length of the composite bar and stress in each material under the given loads. Young's moduli of the materials are Young's modulus of steel 2 into 10 raised to 5 megapascal, Young's modulus of aluminum 7 into 10 raised to 4 megapascal, and Young's modulus of copper 1 into 10 raised to 5 megapascal. Okay, simple. Total change in length is delta 1 plus delta 2 plus delta 3. Okay. So total change in length is delta steel plus delta aluminium plus delta copper. Now for uniform cross section, bar of uniform cross section formula is PL by EA. Delta 2 formula is, check here. We have derived this formula in this video earlier. And the third portion is copper, again uniform cross section. So PL by EA. So corresponding formula we are just using. Middle portion is uniformly varying cross section. So the formula is 4PL divided by pi E d2 d1. Now one more thing here. Why we have used a negative sign here? So try to understand what is force on the first part. So imagine a section here. Sum of forces on left side. So 40 kilonewton tension. So this part, deformation of steel is elongation. Now here we are adding elongations. So we'll have to take care of sign convention. When it is elongation, then it is positive. And when it is reduction in length, then it is negative. Now Aluminium, take a section in the aluminium and add forces on any one side. So if you consider left side, then it is 60 push type of force and 40 pull type of force. So overall it is on aluminium 20 kilonewton push type of force. Push means compression. On aluminium it is 20 kilonewton push type of force. Push type of force means aluminium is in compression. So length of aluminium portion is reducing here. That is why this negative sign. So take care of that. So we'll put the values down. So after putting the values, listen, I've replaced here this area as pi d squared by 4. So this is cross-sectional area of steel. Here it is diameter of copper. So pi d squared by 4 cross-sectional area of copper. And here d1, d2. This is how we have substituted values of diameter of aluminium at this end and diameter of aluminium at this end. So just use corresponding formulae and get the answer. This is a deformation of this bar. Simple. So very simple formula substitution problem. Here middle portion is a bar of uniformly varying cross section. What else is asked in the problem? Let's check it. Find change in length of the composite bar and stress in each material under the given loads. Stress in steel, simple. Load on steel divided by cross-sectional area of steel. Stress in steel is load on steel divided by cross-sectional area of steel. So what is load on steel? 40 kilonewton pull, that is 40 kilonewton tension. So stress in steel is 81.5 megapascal tension. Just put the values and you got the answer. Now let's focus on copper. What is load on copper? Take right side, it is 100 kilonewton pull, that is 100 kilonewton tension. So 100 into 10 raised to 3 Newton divided by area in millimeter squared. So it is 35.37 megapascal, nothing but Newton per millimeter squared tension. And now consider the middle portion. Stress in aluminium is load on aluminium divided by cross-sectional area of aluminium. What is cross-sectional area of aluminium? Try to understand. This is important. Cross-sectional area of aluminium is varying. Smallest area is at left end of the aluminium and largest area of cross-sectional area is here. Remember, when you are asked to find stress in a member, you should think about maximum stress. So maximum stress will be where cross-sectional area is minimum. This stress will be maximum when here denominator is minimum. So minimum cross-sectional area of aluminium is here. And how much is it? Diameter 25. So use diameter 25 to find area and write the answer. So this is stress in aluminium and it is 40.75 megapascal compression. Aluminium is in compression. So don't forget to write nature also. Be careful about that. Develop habit of writing or mentioning nature of stress.
Thank you for watching my video. We'll meet soon in my next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.